financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Good morning. Welcome to Law and Reality. My co-host with me, Brian Small.
Good morning, Ken. Wonderful to be here.
Sporting your Law and Reality hat. Isn't that nice?
It is a nice hat, isn't it?
Are you going golfing today?
God, do I wish. Unfortunately, it's 0 degrees outside, and it doesn't look like it's going to get much warmer today.
Good morning, David Einstandick.
Good morning, Ken. It's always a pleasure to see you today.
We are going to begin a 3-part case study on the Hudson family with this segment. Before I get into it, I just want to make a quick comment that hopefully 2015 will rebound and we're not going to have a year where we're dealing with these tragedies and this evil that we're seeing in Paris over the last week, and that things will get better and we will have a good year. Because it certainly started out with, I don't want to say with a bang, I want to say it certainly started out on a downer for the sake of mankind, and I would like to see things go a little bit better. Now, with that said, I want to talk about the Hudson family. And we've got parents and children. We have William and Mary, ages 75 and 70. These are the parent-grandparents, and they're going to be the focus on the first segment of the show of the case study. And they have two kids. They have children. Rick is their child, their son. He is married to Sandy. She is 40. Rick and Sandy's situation is going to be the focus of segments 2 and 3 of the show. This is going to be a big, massive case study. If you're listening, you've got to pay attention closely so that you absorb the facts. If you're watching the TV version of the show, you're going to get the benefit of the slides, which will show the budget and the information.
Are these paternal or maternal grandparents?
Explain.
Well, are William and Mary... William and Mary are...
I don't think William and Mary can be the parents.
Oh, wait,
both
Rick
of
is married to Sandy. Okay.
Correct.
I thought that they were the
So you're
siblings.
reading the outline now for the first time.
No,
Is
I
that what
read
you're
it.
suggesting? Okay.
I read it.
Okay, I know you did.
Because I wanted to know how Sandy got along with Mary. That's her mom.
They have a good relationship. Sandy's the daughter-in-law. William and Mary love Sandy dearly. This is not a divorce case study. There's not going to be any acrimony here. We have some financial issues that we're going to deal with.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about William and Mary. They're retired. They have $3,500 a month of Social Security coming in. They have savings. They have IRAs valued at $400,000. They're presently drawing out of them to supplement their income $2,666 per month. That's what they're using to live on.
So basically, their $400,000 IRA, assuming some general interest, is going to last them at $2,666 a month, about 15 years.
I would agree with you.
Okay, so the 75 is going to take them to 90.
So, which could be a problem because they're planning on living to the ripe age of 103.
Could be a little bit long. It could be a little bit longer because they're going to have a rate of return.
They are going to have a rate of return, but I assume some interest when I was figuring that.
Those are good points by both of you.
Excellent.
We're no acrimony yet.
No.
We got plenty of time.
They have no other savings. They have a house, fair market value $125,000. Unfortunately, the mortgage amount is $200,000, and the second mortgage is $50,000, so they're underwater. They have a serious problem with credit card debt. They have $85,000 of credit card debt. Their minimum payments on those cards, calculated at 2.5% as a general rule, is $2,125 a month. They own 2 cars. They have 2 cars. One of them they own outright, a 2008 Ford, market value about $4,000. The other one is a leased 2014 vehicle. They're paying $350 per month. I'm surprised I was able to get through this, and neither one of you said, "Well, what kind of car are they leasing? What's the what's the brand? What's the model number? Something like that."
Who cares?
You
It's
guys
a
just-
reasonable car payment.
That's fine. I know that, and that was
It-
going to be
what-
that was
wait
my
a minute.
planned
Wait a
response.
minute.
Like, what difference does it make what model? It's a reasonable payment, but you didn't even ask what
When you
model.
started
no,
the
issue
show-
there is better is it should they have leased a car or should
I
they
don't wanna
be
get
purchasing a
When you
sidetracked
car?
on
started
this
the
by my own
show,
commentary.
you said 2015 was supposed to be on. We wanted an upswing. We want a rebound.
Okay.
Why would I harass you like that?
Harris me?
Yeah.
What is Harris? Harris is
You
Paul
do-
Harris,
you-
Sid
you-
Harris,
you-
Fred Harris.
You do that in La Jolla, California.
Okay, fine.
Why
All
would
right,
I
now,
do that to you?
Back
I
to
never
William
would.
and Mary. Thank you. So good. Things are getting better for 2015 already. The mantra that I want to keep in mind as we go through this is our goal for William and Mary is to preserve future income so that, like Brian pointed out, so that they have money to live on for the remainder of their lives so that they don't exhaust that IRA and their savings while they're living. Now let's look at their budget. So their income is their Social Security and their IRAs, and that totals between the two of them $6,166 per month.
So you're assuming no other income, so there's no
That's it.
reduction in the
That's it.
taxes to the Social Security. Totally retired.
They're
Right.
getting that money.
So let's stop right there,
we
looking
have
at their
to?
we do for a second, and when we're going to look at their situation for a number of solutions, including a bankruptcy. And I want everybody to understand that if you have Social Security income and IRA income of this type, where we have a total of $6,000, if you had this type of income for a household of two people where people were working, they would be above the median income and they might fail the means test to qualify for a Chapter 7
Because
bankruptcy.
that puts them around 70,000 plus per income.
But because the Social Security income is the majority of their income, we only look at what they're drawing out of their IRAs. Social Security doesn't count towards the means test. So in this case,
We're okay.
we're going to pass the means test. And when we come back after the break, when we get there, I'm going to tell you how we're actually going to make William and Mary be able to save their money for 30 years.
All right. While we're doing that, when we come back from the break, would it also be possible for me to go through their expenses?
Yes, sure.
So I could get the
we
whole
can do
chart
that.
out there for them?
Absolutely.
Great. We'll be back after the break.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Every family has the family meeting, and we all know what that means. Dad's got dementia. What are we going to do? What's the care plan that the family has in place? Usually they don't, or they struggle with a care plan. When you go home tonight and you talk to your tax person and you talk to your financial person, say, what's the plan that you have in place? And as soon as they don't give you an answer, give me a call, because I can do it for you.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP. It's devastating, the effects of debt and foreclosure on you and your family. there is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem. Some fear the word bankruptcy, but in reality, it's a strategy to save your home and to eliminate debt. If you're in financial trouble, timing is critical. You need to take action now. We've been saving homes and eliminating debt for over 33 years.
Call Fav Gross 888-235-HELP.
All right, welcome back. We're doing a case study. This is segment 1 of a 3-part case study on the Hudson family. We're doing the grandparents right now, William and Mary. We've gone through their income. Brian made some comments on it, but they've got $6,166 of income. Now let's look at their expenses. The mortgage payment, first mortgage is $1,500, second mortgage $275, utilities and cable $500, car payment $350, insurance and gas $400, food and miscellaneous I ballparked at $1,500 because we don't want to have a 2-page budget. Credit cards $21.25 a month. Their total expenses are running them $6,650 a month. Subtract that from their income, and they're negative $484 a month. So their credit cards are going to keep going up. They're going to run out of money. They're burning through $2,125 of credit card expense per month. Let's analyze the situation.
Right, and Ken, that's the minimum, is I want to emphasize. So they're not even, they're just going deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's sort of like, when you look at it, that's the red flag, saying we got to really address that scenario.
You know, the Credit Card Reform Act, which did some good. In fact, Gary Peters, our senator, was one of the sponsoring legislators on that bill. One of the things out of that act that was good was, you know, you get that little box in the upper right-hand corner that says if you make the minimum payment on the card, you get to pay for that card for 38 years, 42 years, 36 years. When you're making minimum payments, that's what you're doing.
I actually just saw one
That's
yesterday.
an insanity reminder every day.
54 years.
Yeah, that should be against the law to even be able to put that on a piece of paper. And people are paying, and people
Yeah,
are
they
doing
are.
54 years.
Well, I think
so
what
if you're
happens
11
is-
years old, you got nothing to worry about. You'll have it paid off by the retirement.
When you get to the numbers, when you get to the credit card numbers, the amount of debt here, I think what happens is it may be on the paper, but you don't even see it. I mean, it doesn't even register in your mind.
Because it's just
it might as well be 540 years because it doesn't make.
First of all, you don't want to see it. You just pay the bill and you don't worry about it and you don't look at it, because if you start thinking about it, you'll get agitated, you'll get upset.
It's
your
so
hair will
long
start
it
falling
becomes.
out if you
It's so
have
long
any.
it becomes almost
You'll
irrelevant.
have to
in your
wear a
mind.
lawn reality hat just to cover your head to stay warm. You got all sorts of problems. All right, let's talk about William and Mary's options right now. Let's first focus on the house, because this is a house that is underwater. The
Significant.
yeah, the fair market value of the house is $125,000, but they've got a first mortgage of $200,000, a second mortgage of $50,000.
So even if you took their life expectancy, the odds are they're going to barely ever, in best scenario, break even on
Yeah,
this
they'll
house.
never see green on this house because they're 70 and 75 years old. So the first thing that I'm sure that comes to my mind, Brian, your mind, is right away we know if we fit them into a Chapter 13, we could lien strip that second mortgage.
Absolutely. Lien stripping is an available option
Oh, no, I was
based
just
on...
going to say, Brian, would you explain what lien stripping
Sure.
is?
Lien stripping is an available option in this situation where we could take the second mortgage, effectively remove it, because as long as you owe more money on your first mortgage than your house is worth, in Chapter 13, lien stripping is an available opportunity to treat that second mortgage as if it's an unsecured debt. And it could get paid in a Chapter 13 as little as 0 cents on the dollar. And at the end of the Chapter 13 plan, the second mortgage is gone. But in this case, I don't think it's the right strategy.
Okay, what about HAMP modification?
On a straight line HAMP modification, that would be modify the mortgage and reduce the payments, seem as though the house is worth less. And then if you could get principal reduction, it would be a good thing. On these numbers that we're looking at right now, with the amount that they're taking out on the IRA, giving them $6,166 per month of income, those numbers are not going to work well for HAMP, because if you multiply 6166 times 31%, that's the HAMP magic number, that comes to $1,911. The rule is, if that number is less than your current mortgage payment, you're HAMP eligible, but if it's greater, then you're not.
So
And then-
1,900 is greater than 1,500. You don't qualify for HAMP.
Correct.
But-
1,500 is their principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
And
Now, give us
There's
the
a
but.
whole lot of opportunity here. You see, there's no reason why. Let's start off with the reason why William and Mary are taking $2,666
Out of their 400
out of their 401k.
because of the credit card.
They're paying their credit card bills. The strategy in
Let's
this
assume
case,
we can get rid of the credit card bills. What are you going to do with their income?
well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have them stop taking the $2,666 out of their 401k.
Well, then how are they going to pay for the credit cards?
they're
Brian?
going to stop paying for the credit cards.
And then what will happen? They'll come and take their house.
No, they won't.
What'll
So-
happen?
What will happen is
Nothing will
we
happen,
will
right?
reduce their income.
What
and
happens if you don't make a
Why,
credit
why
card
can't
payment?
you let him talk? I can't even hear what's going to happen. All I hear is you.
As I was saying,
I want to finish what I want. I still want to interrupt, and then I want to go right back to you.
I can't even hear what he's going to say.
If you don't make your credit card payment that's due on Monday, the world doesn't end on Tuesday. That was the only
it
thing I wanted to say.
absolutely doesn't. No one comes and shoots you. No one comes and takes you out of your
Fine.
house.
Now I will let you continue.
Show's
and
been
I
going
will-
for
I
5
will-
years. The
I
one
will-
time he's coherent, it makes sense.
I
I got to
will
listen to you.
apologize to the group for my rude interruption in 2015. Now go right ahead,
I'm
Brian.
so glad 2015 is much different than
Yes,
2014.
go right
Go
ahead.
on, Brian.
Anyway, what's going to happen here is we're going to strategically reduce their income. We're going to not take the money out of their IRA. We're going to stop paying the credit cards because all we're doing is depleting our future and
by
our assets.
And we accomplish what?
What we do is we accomplish bringing our income down, and our eligibility for Chapter 7 is there. We don't
in terms
have.
of a Chapter 7. That way we pass the means test.
Well, we passed the
it
means
anyway.
test for these people anyway because the majority of their income was Social Security. But now what we're not doing is wasting money. We're actually protecting that 401k IRA money. And at the same time, the credit card companies are getting nothing. We set them up, and then we file a Chapter 7 maybe after 6 months.
So is the reason why you're doing this because you could file the 7 anyway, you're setting them up so you can modify the mortgage afterwards?
Exactly. Because now if we've brought their income down, we can't bring their income down completely to eliminating the 401k withdrawals because they need some of that just to maintain their basics of life.
Right. So, they
But-
need
So,
more than
Brian,
Social
Brian,
Security.
step number 1, you stop paying the credit cards.
Right.
What's the next step, and what's the timing?
File the Chapter 7 somewhere 4, 5, 6 months after we stop paying the credit cards.
Okay.
All right. Now so the analysis is we're saying let's do a Chapter 7. We're going to bring down their income so that we have them positioned right to modify the mortgage. We're going to come back after the break. We're going to analyze where they stand after the Chapter 7, assuming they then bring their income back up after they modify the mortgage. We'll be back after the break.
It's devastating. The effects of debt and foreclosure on you and your family. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem. Some fear the word bankruptcy, but in reality, it's a strategy to save your home and to eliminate debt. If you're in financial trouble, timing is critical. You need to take action now. We've been saving homes and eliminating debt for over 33 years.
Call Fav Gross 888-235-HELP.
Every family has the family meeting, and we all know what that means. Dad's got dementia. What are we going to do? What's the care plan that the family has in place? Usually they don't, or they struggle with a care plan. When you go home tonight and you talk to your tax person and you talk to your financial person, say, what's the plan that you have in place? And as soon as they don't give you an answer, give me a call because I can do it for you.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Fav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Fav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Fav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Every family has the family meeting, and we all know what that means. Dad's got dementia. What are we going to do? What's the care plan that the family has in place? Usually they don't, or they struggle with a care plan. When you go home tonight and you talk to your tax person and you talk to your financial person, say, what's the plan that you have in place? And as soon as they don't give you an answer, give me a call, because I can do it for you.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, welcome back. Before we go back to the outcome of the Chapter 7 bankruptcy, let's do announcements. We've got seminars coming up. This show, if you're watching the TV version, was recorded in January. So there's two seminar announcements that I'm going to make. One is January 13th, and the other one is Tuesday, February 24th. The January 13th one is called Fresh Start for 2015. The one on Tuesday, February 24th it's called It's Time to End Debt Now. Both of these seminars are focusing on what your options, like William and Mary, are facing in dealing with preserving future income for you and your family, getting rid of credit card debt, dealing with a house underwater, modifying a mortgage, what the range of options are. It's a very proactive seminar. It's free. If you want to sign up for it, both of these are going to be held at our Bingham Farms office at 12.5 Mile and Telegraph. In order to sign up, you go to lawandreality.com, thavgross.com, or you call 888-235-HELP. We also have two upcoming seminars on elder law called What You and Your Parents Need to Know and Plan, 60+++. Pat Simasco from Simasco Law is going to join me. He's an elder law expert. We're going to go through the analysis of Medicaid planning, how you manage and set up your estate so you preserve your assets if the nursing home problem arises in the future, what estate planning decisions you need to make. If you're in your 60s, your parents are in their late 80s and 90s, they are if they're living, they're on the edge of the potential need for a nursing home. There's a lot of planning that needs to happen. One of the seminars is Thursday, January 29th in our Bingham Farms office. The other one is on Wednesday, February 11th at the Concord Inn in Clinton Township. Both of these seminars are going to be held in the morning from 10:30 to from 10 o'clock in the morning to 11:30 a.m. Again, to sign up for those, you go to thavgross.com or lawandreality.com, or you can always call 888-235-HELP. We've got free reports, Retiree's Guide to Social Security, prepared by Pat Simasco. You can download that at ssifreereport.com. We have a Reg X report, How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure and Obtain a Modification, The Hidden Secrets. It's at regxhomesaver.com. We also have our Financial Crisis Analyzer. It's free. It can crunch and evaluate your numbers. That's on the Law and Reality website. I want to thank our sponsors, Thav Gross and Simasco Law, for backing us and supporting us on the show. All right, now let's go back to William and Mary. If they go through the Chapter 7 bankruptcy and we then modify their income like you're saying, Brian, and we bring their income down out of the IRA distributions to just the amount they need to pay their debt, we bring their income down to $4,250 a month.
Right, which makes them eligible for a loan modification if they so chose to bring their first mortgage payment down to about $1,317 a month.
So rather than paying $1,500 a month, we could bring it down to $1,300. And there's also a bigger benefit. If you're HAMP eligible, that's the time you have a chance at principal reduction. You don't know if you'll get it, but if your lender is Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo, they are all giving principal reduction on loan modifications pursuant to national mortgage settlements.
There's an additional benefit Remember when we opened the discussion, I suggested that William and Mary only had 15 years of money left in their IRA?
Yeah.
By doing this, filing the Chapter 7, eliminating all of the credit card debt, taking the reductions, the amount that they have to take out of their IRA, down to $750 a month. Now, what that will do is allow them to have their IRA money last for,
The
by
rest of
my
their
calculations, 44 years. At 75, I think it's unlikely that somebody's going to live to
It
109.
gives them the opportunity, if they want to travel and enjoy their senior years, they have the money and they can afford to do it without putting themselves at risk of running out of cash.
So the point is, when you
it's
say
a difference between struggling and enjoying that which what they
Absolutely.
worked for their whole
when you
life.
say that you're going to take their income down, it's not a loss of income. It's you're going to continue to have that money protected and staying
Correct. We're not
and
gonna-
accumulating in your IRA, while at the same time completely
Yeah,
getting
we're-
rid of your credit card debt.
Absolutely.
And having the ability to go basically the rest of your life.
We're just going to take out what we have to out of the IRA
And-
because of mandatory
and on top of
distributions.
it-
we're not going to take out anything else unless we want to.
Let's
we won't need to.
Let's remind us, everybody also, that what's going to happen here is as the William and Mary age, they may not be able to maintain the house. They may not be able to use the house anymore. And because it's underwater, if they hadn't
And they discharge the debt.
if they hadn't filed the Chapter 7, they would still have to worry about short selling or getting rid of the house in some other capacity.
A claim against their estate.
But by discharging the underlying debt, they owe nothing. And at some point that they decide the house is no longer functional for them, they can shut the
Stop
door, lock it, and leave.
So what they've done
Right.
is, Ken,
Or they can stop paying, let it go through foreclosure, and leave 16 to 18 months after they stop
Exactly.
paying, and then save the money so that they're not spending that,
here's
that
the way
$1,400
I
a
think
month on the
about
house.
it is
Right.
William and Mary, when at the beginning of the show, were at the bottom deck of the Titanic, getting ready to sink into the bottom of the sea. By doing just some a little bit of planning and analysis that is really easy once you understand the plan, they now are on a ship in complete control and are the captain of their own ship, whatever route or tributary they want
and
to
they have
take.
an unsinkable lifeboat.
I don't want to challenge your analogy a little bit, but William and Mary were sinking towards the bottom. They weren't at the bottom. You're at the bottom.
I said about to get ready. I didn't say they were
I
at the
thought you
bottom.
were at the bottom.
I
thought
didn't
you-
say that. I
Listen,
said
what,
they were
here,
on-
let's focus
we can
back
play
on this.
back the tape.
You know,
and I think
60
you
plus
said that
plus,
they
you
were
better
at the bottom.
attend that seminar.
Thanks for listening
got
to this
opportunities.
segment of Law and Reality. When we
15,
come
just
back
like
to
14.
the next segment of Law and Reality, if we haven't killed each other by that time, we're going to take up William and Mary segment 2. We're going to look at the kids. We'll be back with the next segment of Law and Reality.